Let's go. Welcome back to Music NFT Radio Podcast. We're here with another episode. We've got Mucho Info here on Music NFT Radio. Retweet the room. Let's go, everyone. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel. If you're on the podcast, make sure you come check out our 24/7 radio over on Twitter, where we play the hits of Web3 and Music NFTs. Go to musicnftradio.com. We got the podcast going. We got the Mucho Info squad in here. So really looking forward to this interview. Everyone can say what up. How's it going, Mucho Info?
Hey yo, hola, ¿cómo están? How you doing?
Yo, what up? Great to have you all here. If y'all want to go around and introduce yourselves, we can do that so that everybody knows who's in the building.
We got a fourth.
Oh yeah, okay, Ed's in here. Ed G. All right, so I'm DZ Deseta, or DZRT. You can find me on platforms. I am also producer, engineer of the group.
Yo, this is Hex over here, guitarist and vocalist for the group. How we doing?
What's up? It's G, producer. I guess it's my turn. What up? Producer, songwriter, singer. How's everybody doing?
And my name is Maui. I would be a singer-songwriter. You'll mainly find me on the choruses. Some like to say I'm somewhat of a lead singer for the group, but we all sing. Glad to be here. Appreciate you having us, Dill.
Hell yeah. Thanks for coming up, guys. This is fun. This is exciting. This is a cool new way of doing a podcast. So it works really well for a group like this where we could get everybody tuned in and hear from all you guys because you're a group of 5, right? So, you bring your own perspective. You each have your own unique story, and you're coming together as a group to make amazing music. We play it all the time on Music NFT Radio. I know I'm always bopping along. I know Benny's always loving it. So you got some bangers in rotation, and we're looking forward to supporting Mucho Info to the top here on Music NFT Radio as the OGs, coming in here since the beginning. So, yeah, this is really about you guys, though, and your story. That's the idea here on Music NFT Radio. Of course, I definitely want to hear what it was like coming into Web3 and starting to learn about this. But let's start at the beginning, and let's get a little bit of background about Mucho Info. And if you each want to just give a little bit of background about yourself, and then someone can give the background about Mucho Info coming together as well, we could probably do it that way.
That would work too.
All right, let's go in alphabetical order.
Who's okay? We got D, but like artist name or real name?
I guess you, artist DZ.
Okay, bet. So, all right, DZ. I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. Raised in technically Kingsland, right across the border in the bottom of Georgia. Grew up singing in the choir in my church, and also took a liking to playing the guitar, and that was my first and currently only instrument. And I was first introduced into production by FL Studio 7. One of my cousins came into town from Atlanta, and Atlanta, and he showed me FL Studio 7, and yeah, he really put me on from that point on, man. It was a bug, and I just kept going. Solidified my strength as a producer and engineer eventually, and this is my role in the group. Came to college at Georgia Southern University, and fell in love with the song Jordan Belfort, and that was my entire college career for that song, for real.
Let's go.
And yeah, man, So met the guys in college as well, up there at Statesboro, Georgia Southern University.
Nice. Yeah, Hex here, born in Boston, raised in Atlanta. I would say the West Side. Not really in Atlanta, but influenced by Atlanta. So I claim that as home. I'm family actually with Maui. Ed and Yona were actually all cousins. So the way I got into music, I mean, similar story to DZ. I was actually in the church choir, and I learned from there. Played guitar starting at 10, and then going to college. Me, DZ, and Maui came together as part of a group to create our own fraternity on campus, and we all had a liking and mutual desire to pursue music. So I mean, we always came together, freestyled whenever we got litty, and get the rap circle going. So that's one thing we wanted to just hop on after pursuing business, and then actually realizing that we are entrepreneurs with artistic, um, I would say artistic, let's say skills. But I do believe myself an entrepreneur first before an artist. But I also feel like that's part of what I'm looking to do as part of my life.
So yeah, I'm Ed G. Um, Cousins with Hex, brother with Maui, cousin with Yona. We all grew up in Boston. Well, we were born in Boston and we grew up in Metro Atlanta area. Same story. Grew up in the church choir. I've been playing piano since I was little, self-taught, and just taught myself how to produce beats. Maybe about started working on it like 10 years ago. Always grew up listening to trap music, reggaeton music, bachata, merengue, hip hop, R&B. So our music is very much so a combination of all of that. That Latin sazon, but with the trap drums and with that trap heat element is the best way I could describe what we got going on. And yeah, man, we'd like to make all of our music from scratch. We write it, we record it, we produce it, we perform it on stage with some instruments. We dance, we sing. It's fun, and I enjoy being in the group with my best buds.
For me to say, but before I talk about myself, I'm gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about the guy who's missing here. His name is Yona. Yona is one of the family members. We're an urban Latin music group. It's for Latinos. DZ is what we call Blatino. And Yona is actually absent right now because he had a family passing. So, if you guys could excuse Yona not being here. Um, but either way, Yona is from Boston as well, same age as Hex and I. He's a singer songwriter, but he raps a lot. He's the main rapper in the group, I would say, along with Hex. Um, he grew up playing bass. He's been in the choir with us. I know his entire life story, so it's easy for me to talk about it because we grew up together since diapers. Myself, though, inspired by the church again, just like everybody else, I sang the Psalms at my church. Though I was the kid on the altar singing by himself. I developed my entrepreneur mind through business. Hex, DZ, Yona, and Ed and I, we built a couple businesses together. We've partnered up, and that's why we've been able to set goals. We've been able to identify our roles as a team. We allow each other to flourish in our strengths. We help each other out in our weaknesses and trying to put our egos to the side. We're blessed to have this kind of unity, this kind of commitment as a team, and the vision and the dream. But overall, we just have a shit ton of fun in the studio making everything from scratch. I write most of the choruses, a lot of the verses. These guys all write their music, but oftentimes, they'll tap in with me so I can help with their flows. And, I'm just really, really excited to grow my songwriting skills, my singing skills. Some of my inspirations are J Balvin, Maluma. You know, um, on the hip hop side, I really look up to Drake and Russ. And just excited to be here. Thanks for having us. And that's the whole team, Mucho Info. We came together about the ones who are family all whole lives, but we met DZ in college. Mucho Info has been releasing music for about 3 years now. And I can share a little bit about our mission statement if we're there yet. I don't know if we were just doing the individuals first.
Nah, you got it, man. Keep on rolling. That's great
Gotcha.
to hear everyone's little intro. Keep it going.
Yeah, so our mission statement is to create ripples of love that empower humanity through creativity, servitude, and excellence. I'll repeat that. Is to create ripples of love through creativity, like create ripples of love that empower humanity through creativity, servitude, and excellence. That's how the name Mucho Info came aboard. Ed G originally had the idea of TMI. We were going to go by the name of Too Much Information. We felt that we are here on a deeper journey. We're souls on this movement of enlightenment, but oftentimes it's a little too much to explain to some people, and it's a little too much to try to get somebody onto that vision. So we called it Too Much Information because if you see us from a surface level, everything's about partying, lit, trap, reggaeton, dance music, just the fun life. But the deeper part of our journey is, once we get to that level of influence, once we have the platform, whether it be Web 2, Web 3, Web 4 when it comes out, we can really set an example for the youth. We can really showcase, light on principles and values that we embody when we're in interviews like this, where people can really get to know us. But we changed to Mucho Info because just one day randomly I was looking up Googling TMI and I found way too much shit for too much information because that's such a generic statement. And we needed something more unique. So Mucho Info hit me one day to make it a bilingual version of TMI, and we ran with it, and people just love Mucho now.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great story. And to hear how you guys have just all grown up together and friends from college and stuff like this, I mean, it's awesome. It's like, five brothers just making music. And I think that vibe comes across in your music. I've become a big fan hearing it on Music NFT radio all the time, always bringing across those good vibes. So we're really happy to have you guys in here. A question I have for you is like, was there one formative moment where you guys all got together and you're like, all right, that's it. We're starting this group. It's gonna be the five of us. We're gonna call it TMI or Mucho Info, or maybe there was some to that. But was there a moment when you all decided like, this is it, we're doing it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro. Whenever
Yeah.
we came and like mutually started doing what we love to do, we were like, you know what? Let's come up with a mission. Let's find a way to ground ourselves, so that way we're not swayed too much by the ocean of like the entertainment industry. So that we know what we're doing this for, and that everything that we do has a purpose and meaning. Um, we are anchored by our mission statement, so that way that really is what started it. The anchoring of that, so that we know what direction we are taking our artistry together.
Or also, I guess the moment that we decided to sit down and form our LLC, we were like, man, we're official. Mucho Info Music LLC. We in business, boys.
I remember one time when I came up to Atlanta because I was always traveling back and forth from my hometown and up to Atlanta, and we sat down in their old place that they lived in, and I remember they were talking about forming the group, and then they also asked me if I wanted to like produce as well for the group, and I was like, shit, yeah, let's do this. I got people to make beats for, yeah, let's do it. And then after that, it evolved into being an actual artist in the group and all that. So super grateful for like the push into like the metamorphosis, you know.
Yo, DZ, I remember that conversation so well because I remember I was the one
Yeah,
that asked you that.
yeah.
We had all, Edgy, Hex, and I, and Yona. Since we were kids, we've all played instruments and sang and stuff. So we've always formed. We had formed our band like 3 times. My mom would always push us to start some kind of band. Edgy was the piano player, Hex on the guitar, Yona on the bass, and I was the singer. And we would do that every summer growing up for like 4 or 5 summers, but we could never come up with a band name. So we've always tried to be a band. But then DZ came around in college, was producing beats, and we just started freestyling every time. Like Hex said, when we were getting litty, when we were partying, we would just freestyle over the beats. What's crazy, bro, Dill, I got to tell you, Jordan Belfort is a staple song for our college experience, our
I'm
fraternity
so
experience.
fucking
Like,
serious, bro.
like
It's
so
crazy.
Yo,
staple. Like it, like
yeah,
that.
where
That
did
it.
you guys go?
We went to Georgia Southern, bro, in Statesboro.
Hell yeah, dude,
Yeah.
awesome. That's dope. That's so dope.
And then I remember DZ. We were already building Mucho Info, and or it was TMI at the time. I can't remember if it was even Mucho Info yet. And I was telling DZ all about it over the phone, and he came up to Atlanta to visit us just to make some music. And I remember asking, I was like, "Hey, so are you Mucho Info, or do you just want to collaborate with Mucho Info?" And DZ was like, "Whoa, I thought I was already Mucho Info." So that answered my question there. I was like, "All right, we're all Mucho Info."
Yeah, so okay, so we were TMI at that time because remember we made post-its. And then
Yeah, that's
like
right.
even in our lyrics we would refer to ourselves as TMI and shit. That's why these are unreleased tracks right
Yeah, that's
here.
right.
That's dope. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, those early days, bringing it together. I know you guys have been making all types of content. I've seen some of the YouTube videos and stuff like that. I mean, maybe talk about what the journey's been like since you started and some of what you're doing now. sort of before coming to Web3 and NFTs?
Like,
So I guess the content our goal that we had originally, which is what we still strive to what we work for, is being able to release a song a month. And so around that song a month, we have a package of social media content that we aim for, about like 10 pieces of content per song. And it always varies. We got content for our shows, we got content for our songs, we got content for random stuff from random videos. But as far as the workflow, we kind of just come up with ideas. We want to be out as much as possible and not, I guess, go viral, but just create consistent quality content and just so that the people can get to know Mucho better.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I can add on to that too. So lately, we like to keep our focus on, the different parameters of what we call our business, our music business, right? And it's like, one is the releasing of our music, two is the visual representation, branding, and delivery of our content. Three would be our performances, getting our scheduled performances, our paid performances. And four, I would say, is exposure and innovation, right? So that's like us hopping into Web3. A lot of our main focus is for the first 2 3 years of us being together, especially in quarantine, we built up a massive catalog where, we're excited and we can confidently say that if we stop making music today, we'd still be able to release for the next 2 3 years. And that's allowed us to give us some buffer room to start really focusing on how to get the product out there, how to really brand ourselves to give off the vibes and the feels of what we want people to interpret when they hang out with Mucho, when they hear Mucho. So our music videos, if you haven't seen Se Lo Come or Oasis, those are two of our most popular music videos. You'll get a really good feel of like the fun, happy, light, sexy turn up that Mucho Info is. So now we're shifting our focus to Web3, to more visual content, graphic images, things so we can start to create a tight niche community like you have here, Dill. And we appreciate you for setting an example because we're watching closely, bro.
Appreciate that, guys. I mean, yeah, you're always welcome here on Music NFT Radio. And it's great that there's so many resources for artists getting in the space, because when I started coming into music NFTs, I mean that wasn't even really a thing. Nobody was talking about music NFTs. Like now it's definitely a known, segment of the NFT market. But coming in now, I feel like there's more resources. There's stuff like Music NFT Radio. There's communities you can look to. There's sites that you can get on. So, I mean, maybe you want to talk a little bit about what your thoughts are coming into Web3, and everyone can give their perspective a little, because I think everyone's at a different spot, and that's as it should be, right? Like, we've all seen slightly different things about Web3 and NFTs. We all have our own little perspective, but certainly it's a great new way to sell music and to make your music available in Web3 and as NFTs.
yeah, man, I agree. It is definitely a great opportunity to number one, build the community amongst people, like to be able to like just provide something valuable in return for their support. Because it's just a vice versa thing, and that's definitely a part of our like deep rooted mission. So it, especially with this opportunity of Web3 and being able to connect with an audience on a different type of level, it's really number one challenging us, of course, to like come up with new creative ways to engage people. But at the same time, that challenge is like it's the polishing of a diamond, because it's going to have such a great return because it's the care that's put into it in order to make it not just some like fad or like trend kind of thing, but like something to really tie people together and build a community with it. So like we did a test run with like our first NFT to try to put some utility behind it in order to give uh, the owner of the NFT, VIP access to some of our shows that we would perform at, with discretion at if it's possible, if it's within our power to do so. um, so that was our first test with that, but we're definitely looking to like create an actual like entire project based around our music itself, just to provide some kind of opportunity for the people to engage and connect as well, and to really get to know us on some other way, you know.
Definitely. I feel like it's a new way to connect with your community and provide that insight and that kind of connection directly to the artist.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I'm really excited about stepping into Web3. I see one that it empowers all types of creative artists. Like for so long, music has been able to have metadata and ways to sync so that when people buy your music and royalties and all that, and people have been able to create wealth through music, and people in art have been able to do that too. And in a physical space like paintings, like value, whatever. I saw that first with Web3, and I thought that was kick ass. But then as I started to learn more, what I was most excited about was the community aspect. Like there were so many times throughout the years, like in the beginning, we've evolved. Like if you go listen to some of our music from 3 years ago, it's like it's way different. I'm not saying it's bad or our music now is better. Well, I would say it's getting better, of course. But it's just like we've changed over time. And I remember feeling like in the first year or two of music, first two really, we were just constantly recycling fans. Like we would have some people that would show up to some shows. They would support some music, but then like a couple months later, we don't see them at the shows again, or we don't see them as engaged or as And honestly, we take full responsibility because that probably has everything to do with the fact that we didn't engage with them ourselves, right? And you got so much going on that each individual fan is extremely important, but at times you can be so caught up in other areas of the business that you can forget that how important each one individual is in the community of the people who are showing love. So whenever I saw that people were starting to create discords and private discords of people who are supporting the different drops of the music, and I heard that people can buy into the NFTs to get royalties and fund your projects, all of that just created such an exponential I guess I would say like a macro engagement move that I was constantly thinking of, like how do we connect with these people? Like how do I show them that I really fuck with them? Because they're showing me love other than just posting a story every now and then and saying, "Hey, thank you guys for, downloading our music." I would like to be able to send each individual person who downloaded the song, a thank you card. And practically that's what you're doing with the NFTs. You're rewarding them. And I love that.
Definitely. I think that being able to reward your collectors and being able to provide utility is going to be a key part of NFTs as you scale up and as you do different things. Like even how right here we've made music NFT radio utility, and that's not something that I planned. Like when I released NFTs a year and a half ago, I did not know I was going to be running a 24/7 radio on Twitter Spaces. Twitter Spaces didn't even exist. So I think it's interesting as you build your community, you'll just find different ways that you can help and support your collectors who have supported you, right? And I think it's important to explain the vision. Like you don't have to promise things, but you can still explain what you want to do, right? So with my NFTs, I'm like, look, yeah, it's a lifetime ticket to my shows if I can get you in, just like you said. It's not going to be every single show that I'm going to have the potential to get someone in, but a lot of them I will. And even for the VIPs, which is a much more limited number, it's like you always have guest lists. You could always try to get them pre-sale or something else like this. So there's a lot of ways you could hook up collectors. And I also think that most of the venues, festivals, show planners, anything like this, like they're happy to have dedicated fans who are coming to the shows and stuff like that. So it's pretty much a win-win.
Agreed, man. I
Yeah.
want to see how. I really want to see how this kind of space is going to be mixed into the festival world. Like how is that going to play a part in there? Like, could it be a part of like festival novelty that you get as part of like going to the festival for whatever artist you want to go to? They have a booth set up for whatever music NFTs they have, kind of stuff like that. Like imagine an opening artist for like a festival having like their merch table or their like booth for like anything that the any supporters want to come back and check out, and they could just purchase a music NFT somehow right on the spot. Like that'd be crazy.
Crypto booth.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how it's going to be. And that's what we're doing with Webstock Genesis events coming up at NFT NYC on June 20th. So just a couple days. And it's going to be great. We're having a VIP section where all of the artists and collectors of those artists are going to have access. So, like, if you hold my NFT, you're going to get access to the VIP area where there'll be me and other artists, and that's kind of like the meet and greet. So I think that's going to be like the future is basically the festivals are going to be on board with it, right? They're going to support it too. So I think that's really where it's headed, is that all the festivals are going to support it. They're going to say, okay, yeah, we'll give your collectors special access to some special area for collectors, right? Because you can still, like, honestly, they can still sell separate meet and greet stuff or sell their separate NFTs. Like, for example, if you hold the Webstock NFT, you'll also get access to VIP, which is cool because then you can hold the Webstock NFT and you still get access to, like, all the other artist area and stuff like this. So it's like whether you support the artists or you support the DAO and the event, the festival, right? There's still all these different ways. So, I think the key is combining everything together. It's like we don't need to get rid of the Web 2 stuff. We don't need to get rid of like regular meet and greets just because we're selling NFTs, right? We don't need to get rid of regular VIP tickets just because we have some NFTs that are VIP as well. I think it's just a new product that allows you to sell the ticket. It's like selling a paper ticket versus a digital ticket versus an NFT ticket. You can have all three. Why not? So I think that's then any ways you can provide value and utility for the NFT is going to be huge too. So I think you got the right idea with that kind of stuff and the VIP experiences and anything you can do for your biggest supporters.
Exactly. We kind of want to give those certain people that special little trump card, and we imagine as well. Like, just imagine if someone huge like Drake or Bad Bunny had an NFT where you could have literally free access when applicable to all shows for life. Like, the resale value on that NFT is gonna be ridiculous for someone like Drake. The holder of that NFTs, man, got the craziest bragging rights, gets to go to all the shows. So whoever has their hands on that NFT, you know, God willing, we take off. Mucho takes off to the moon, and whoever's the holder of that is going to have a lot of monetary value as well in that, hopefully, because we're going to put on some crazy good shows that are going to be worth coming to.
Yeah.
So is the
Mucho
NFT
thanks.
basically going to be like a season ticket?
It's kind of like a season ticket, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be seasonal. It's going to be that ticket is going to be good for life, basically. It's like a one of one.
Yeah, I mean, it's really about supporting your collectors and being able to support them long term, but it's also built in that not every collector is going to be able to come to every show. I mean, more than likely, they're only going to come to one or two shows or something like this, right? So I think that's built into the model, and that's one of the assumptions. And when you have a bigger event, a bigger show, you have more collectors to deal with. That's fine. You'll be able to figure that out and do something, whether it's like, after the event, meeting up and getting some drinks, like bringing some merch for them. Like, there's always something you can do to give value and just support the people who support you. So, I try not to worry too much about it and just realize that, there are ways to scale this up. There's going to be events that are more open to it. All these things are coming. We just need to keep building every day.
Exactly.
For sure. So, anyway, I really appreciate you guys coming on. This has been awesome to hear a little bit of your story and your experience in Web3. And it sounds like you're on a great path with everything you're building with the NFTs. I whipped up a dope little graphic here for the podcast as well. I have it saying Mucho Info, 5 bros making music in Web3. I think it's fitting. But I wanted to give you guys a chance to share.
Hey,
Yeah, if there's anything else you guys want to share, anything else you guys want to tell people about to look forward to, anything you want, go for it.
Yes, sir. Okay. Info is dropping a record on the 24th, and we definitely have some art that we want to jump into Web3 with it and create an NFT. We actually have a meeting tonight with some partners that are going to provide us with some resources to make it happen, like you mentioned earlier. So, Amores Secretos, it means secret loves, drops on June 24th on all platforms, and that's something to look forward to. And we have a big project coming down either towards the end of the year. We're working on massive, but you can expect some great singles coming out from Mucho in the next few months. We live out in Orlando now. We've relocated to Florida, so if you're in Orlando or in Miami, and follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere you can, and just keep it updated. So once we have that platform and we have the NFTs out there, we can't wait to bless anybody who's just showing love.
I was going to say, if one of you guys had your speaker and had access to the drive, why don't we give them a little preview of the new song?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm at the computer.
you are it?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up right quick.
Hey, let's get a quick peace sign for everybody who's trying to hear the new track. Let's hear that.
Yeah, we got unreleased music coming.
Sorry, it's playing out of the monitor speakers instead of the good studio speakers. ¿Cómo puede ser que se le olvide lo que es amarte? Ya las veces que dejó de conquistarte. El roso solita, pero te quitas tu maquillaje. No te quieres soltarte. Summer baby on you. I think it is down solo. You don't gotta feel guilty, please no, no. Ya deja de pensar en ese bobo. Yo la canción soy todo. Elevo la progresión de esa manera. Yo soy tu superhéroe. Déjame tus ojos rojos. Tú me invitaste solo para mojarte porque me manda un mensaje diciendo que hoy So I apologize about the quality, but that's the song. Hopefully everyone got a decent chance to hear what the vibe is like.
Dope. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Guys, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you guys. This was dope. Thanks for listening in, everyone. This is Music NFT Radio. We just finished up with the Mucho Info Squad here on Music NFT Radio. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Music NFT Radio. You can catch it on all podcast sites. It'll be out in just a few minutes here. And then we'll be rolling. Come hang with us 24/7 on Music NFT Radio. You'll hear songs from Mucho Info. We'll get that new one in rotation when you guys drop it. And thanks for coming in, guys.
Hey, thank you so much
Hey,
for
thanks
having
for
me.
having us, bro.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Hell yeah. Let's get back.
Thank you, man. Thank
Of
you.
course.
I really appreciate you, man. Mucho love and appreciate you. Sorry to interrupt you, but thank you so much, man.
Thanks for coming in, guys. I appreciate it. It's awesome. You're all welcome here anytime. Come hang on radio. You know that. We vibing. Let's get to it.